Kristen, and this is my mentee, Meghan. And we wrote this fictional story because we wanted to explore two different points of view of the same situation. And it's about two people meeting for the first time on a subway train bound for adventure.
Jake sat in a dingy one train contemplating how he had let 2 high school years wilt away with never once bothering to be himself, always following the crowd and always begging to be let in. There were only a few people in the car besides himself, and the steady beat of the wheels rolling over the tracks roared in his ears. The car swayed back and forth as they traveled. He allowed himself to become immersed in the sounds of the train and tapped his feet to the tempo. The troubling thoughts of high school were pushed to the back of his mind, with nothing existing to him but the subway. He was brought back to reality as the power went out. The train screeched to a stop. He sighed and leaned against the wall. He was in no rush to go back to his life. With a jerk, the young girl sitting a few seats away from him looked up and stared at him. She had tight, curly blonde hair and piercing blue eyes that cut into him like blades of steel. He glanced over at her a few times and then tried to pretend he didn't see her. When that didn't work, he asked, "Can I help you?" in a way that he at once realized sounded offending. He hadn't meant for it to come out that way and wanted to take it back. Soon he realized the girl hadn't noticed the tone in his voice at all and had immediately taken the opportunity to begin talking to him. Before he knew it, she was rapidly introducing herself as Fiona Brown. He couldn't be sure if that was her name or not because she was talking too fast and constantly taking huge breaths of air to spout out more words. She was talking about her dog, then her friends, then the music she liked, and then her parents. Jake couldn't believe he was actually in this situation. It wasn't that he found it shameful, it just seemed bizarre for a random girl to come up to him and start talking as though she had known him her whole life. She talked and talked, completely unaware of his expression and a few scattered people in the train staring at her strangely. It occurred to Jake that even if she was aware of all that, she probably wouldn't care. To be continued.
On the subway to go to Zachary's birthday party. She had bumped into him last week on the corner of Christopher Street when the moon turned black from the eclipse. He said, "Excuse me," and had nice lips. Luckily, their parents knew each other, and Fiona wasn't forced to look him in the eye as they exchanged awkward hugs. Later at home, Fiona's mom told her they had met either at yoga class or the one where she sweated her brains out in 100-degree heat, or at a recent community board meeting. Only a minute passed before they exchanged telephone numbers and invited each other over for birthday parties and downward dog exercises. As the #1 train zoomed past 34th Street, Fiona's heart pounded. She wasn't nervous at age 11 to ride the subway alone. Her mom thought her long legs made her look older, and besides, no one ever bothered her. She was nervous because she had spent hours in a railroad flat apartment reading the McGuffey readers and was now frantically searching for a topic that would interest Zachary. She remembered sitting in her imaginary closet made of cardboard box, pretending it was an armoire from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, then listening to the radio. Her mom said the radio was a gift from her father before he disappeared on her 2nd birthday. 14th Street next, the conductor shouted. "Stand clear of the closing doors, please." Fiona had a few minutes left before she was to arrive at Zachary's birthday party. She spun her fat, funny thumbs and made up different names for her school. She hated when kids her age found out her mother had been homeschooling her for 5 years. Fiona then looked across the subway car and saw a cute boy, probably around 16 years old, and an older man counting on her fingers. Suddenly, the lights went out.